Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy KlueDadon, another episode of Kountry Fan Mail Podcast. Thank y'all for tapping in. Thank y'all for listening. Got a dope episode coming in. All right, y'all. As I said, welcome back. Thank y'all for tapping in for another episode of Kountry Fan Mail. I've been trying to do better as far as saying the episodes. I think I'm like episode 117, something like that. It's kind of crazy actually even saying it like that. But yeah, we out here. We back. We doing it season 4. Getting ready to roll to season 5 here in a little bit. But anyways, I'll tell you about that later. So got another really dope interview coming in. But before we get into that, just quick few things. A few people hit me up about the Patreon, so I'm no longer using Patreon. So not to say that anybody actually subscribed to me yet, but few people, I guess, maybe were thinking about it. I'm not using Patreon anymore, so I'll have another type of service out there that, say if you want to support the channel in any type of way that you can reach that out. You can hit on that. But right now, I'm staying up for Patreon, so enough about that. So anyways, segueing into the interview, definitely excited to talk to this cat. Been knowing this cat, I can't say like super close, but been knowing of him for some years now. Say between before, I lived in Texas, even to when I moved to Texas, or saying this back to the South. And one thing that I've always realized about him is that anytime that I saw any type of bullshit, and this is music aside, anytime I saw any type of bullshit or anything happening within the communities that we are in, which we'll get into, I always saw this cat stepping up and being like, yo, we need to cut this, you know what I'm saying? Like, you need to figure this out. Sometimes, work, sometimes it didn't, but that's just, nature of the beast of that community. But anyways, without further ado, I want to bring this cat to the stage. Super dope producer, super dope dancer. He's worked with cats, Little C, Slim Thug, Boosie. It blew my mind, to hear that stuff. So like I said, I want to bring this cat to the stage. Mr. Red on the Beats, aka Randy Thomas. What's good, G?
What up, bro?
Ain't shit,
appreciate
man. Ain't
you
shit.
for having me.
Already, man. I appreciate you coming on here, bro.
I like that intro too. That intro fight.
Hey, appreciate it, man. Yeah, appreciate it. I did it myself, man. I was just trying to. It's actually 2 different intros that I had, and I just meshed them together. So yeah.
Oh, that's what's up.
Already,
it's been a minute. I ain't seen you in a minute in person, bro.
Yeah, man, it's been a good while, man. It's definitely been a good while, man. But like I said, one thing that I will say for real, and I said at the beginning, man, you always stay consistent. You know what I'm saying, with what you're, what you're putting out there and what you're doing. But before we get into that, though, first question I gotta ask you, bro, what was the first song you listened to when you woke up this morning?
Oh, I got to think about it because I ain't gonna lie to you. I listened to a rock song this morning.
Oh, it's all good. Hey, man, I got a lot of different answers when I ask that question, but it's all right. We gonna so think about that, and we gonna go ahead and keep on going with it. So,
I got you. I
go
listened
ahead.
I listened to Masterpiece by Motionless in White.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about that. I don't think I've heard that before.
It's a song is like he talking about his life, but he put it in like a picture frame and everything like that. It made sense because I was thinking about. I'm like, dang, I need to come up with something like that because I'm trying to tap in on that side too, the rock side of music too. So
For sure. Okay. Yeah, I like that. Shit, that's a dope ass concept. I'm gonna have to look that up for real. So so you spoke, what I'm saying, about tapping into the rock side, but before we get there, I want to kind of start with, the origins, what I'm saying, the origins of the beat making, saying it, and I'm saying it right. It's Red on the Beat, correct?
It's R.E.T. It's actually my
R.E.T.
initials.
Okay.
It's actually my initials.
That makes sense. Okay, that makes sense. R.E.T. on the beat. All right, that make a whole bunch of sense. I kept saying Red, but all right. So
it's all
tell
good.
me,
Everybody do it.
so tell me about the origins. Tell me about, like, what I'm saying, young, out before the name, tell me about young Randy, what I'm saying, falling in love with music.
Oh, my mama actually got me into music when I was like 4, 5. Like You know them little xylophones and them little play pianos back when we were kids. You know the little xylophones and stuff.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
mama had got me one of them, and she taught me how to play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. Cause my mama actually she can sing. Like most of my family, like musically inclined, and my
Word.
mama actually can sing. So she really got me into music. Her, my uncles, my grandma, R.I.P. to my grandma, all them got me into music. And I've been a fan of music ever since. But I ain't gonna lie, I didn't think I would be producing music though.
So what did you think you were gonna be doing?
I ain't gonna lie, I wanted to do criminal justice and everything like that. I wanted to be a judge. That's what I wanted to be, a judge.
Word. Word. So I mean, is that something that you still want to do, or is it something that you just like, nah, I think I got another path now?
Oh yeah, no, not now, cause like what I'm doing now is like it's making a difference for kids and you, cause like I got kids that want to learn how to do the music and everything like that. I give them
Hmm.
pointers and everything. Cause you'll be surprised how many young guys we got here that's producing for big names. Like some of my little homies producing for some big names like Young Boy.
Hmm. But so you were talking about, saying, just so the fact that you get to produce now, and so you get to help kids and help out others and stuff like that. And I think there was a producer that I heard not too long ago. And I mean, when I tell you he produced for a big name, it was like a big name. Cat was like 16, 17 years old. But I mean, and
Yeah,
that's not that far fetched. You know what I'm saying? You got cats like Blue Lab Beats. Half of Blue Lab Beats when they first started, Cat was like 14. And I'm saying that he's just, producing, saying shit that's heard around the world. So I guess kind of leading me into my next question, like, because I kind of spoke about this a little bit with in my last interview. Do you feel like what you working with the youth that you're still trying to, say, have your own come up, and definitely is, saying, assist everybody at the time? Or do you feel like, I don't even want to come up anymore? I'm just trying to push them so they can come up.
no, not really. Cause I think if I honestly think if I stop coming up, it'll low key kind of make them lose focus. But I don't really expect them to lose focus because I be every time somebody come around me, I be trying to motivate them to not give up on anything.
Hmm.
So yeah, but I'm still trying to do it because I mean I still got some goals that I want to accomplish in the music field. Like I'm trying to still do something with Lil Wayne. That's my favorite rapper that's alive.
Word. Okay. I mean, I mean, honestly, I feel like, what I'm saying, for where you're going and what you've already done. I mean, it ain't far fetched, and it ain't that far off, for real, for real. Because I mean, like, literally, I didn't even notice that you work with people. You know what I'm saying, like Boosie, Slim Thug. Like, tell me about that. Like, how was it actually? You know what I'm saying? Maybe you didn't actually get a chance to work with them, or maybe you did. But like, just kind of tell me how that whole thing went down.
As far as with the Boosie thing, that was something my bro did because he actually from Louisiana.
Already.
And he included me on it because as far as mixing beats down, I'm really good at it or whatever. And he put me on that. And then there was another thing I did where I had co-produced a track. One of my bros got a song with Boosie on it and everything. I co-produced it or whatever, and that was just pretty much how that happened. But I ain't
Yeah,
worked with
that's
Boosie
dope.
ever since though, because I Boosie been being a family man there. So
Yeah. He definitely doing different shit. I love watching his interviews, man. On fucking that's probably the only Vlad interviews that I watch these days, man. Because man, Boosie hilarious, man. That dude different, man. For real, for real. So kind of, what I'm saying, segueing a little bit off of music, a little bit kind of segueing into different parts of you. Because one thing about majority of people that I bring on to my podcast, they're multi. My wife's words, they're multifaceted. They have so many different aspects to them. So now diving into the dance part, or this thing that we love called Krump. Love to hate it. You know what I'm saying? Hate to love it, love to hate it, however you want to call it, right?
y'all already know
You know
how
what
I
I'm
feel
saying?
about Krump
And
sometimes.
you know what I'm saying? And shout out to the outsiders. I want to make sure I say
Oh
shout out to the
yeah,
outsiders, man. I ain't
yes
been tapped in
sir.
for a little bit, but already, what I'm saying, just because I don't Crump no more don't mean I don't love y'all. So shout out to y'all. Shout out to A7 Anarchy. But anyways, uh tell me a little bit about your dance career and how it's kind of, what I'm saying, evolved and or assisted your music, your producer.
Oh, I ain't gonna lie. It actually helped a lot because for those that don't know, my first big play before the Boosie and all that, my first big play came with Big Riot. Like
Word.
I don't know how it happened. I just remember meeting them in Texas at the Madhouse 3, because of course Riot one of my favorite crumpers of all time after Crush. So I just presented myself because I mean where I'm from, I'm used to seeing celebrities and everything and being fanned out. We don't really be fanned out like that, but I was fanned out the second time I met him. Now, the first time I wasn't fanned out, but the second time I was. I ain't gonna lie. But
It
yeah,
is
I
what it
made
is.
myself. Yeah, I made myself available, and I told him what I do, and then we was at Disco House, just chit chatting, coming up with so many ideas and everything. And then when I went back, I did one of his singles, "So Gone," which he did a lot of numbers with and everything like that. Got so many shows for, and I
Yeah.
got paid very good. That was my first introduction to royalties.
Hey, that's what's up. That's what's good. And that speak on that a little bit for what I'm saying. Just kind of a little slight segue. Speak on that a little bit for the up and coming producers and even the producers that's even been out there for a little while. Speak on how important tracking your shit so you can get those royalties is.
Oh yeah, you got to be on your business. See, I ain't gonna lie. Before I did that with Riot, I knew about the business, but I ain't never had hands-on experience with it till I got with Riot. As far as the royalty part go, but the streaming, what I love about it, they track your stuff down, even if you ain't hearing it be played and everything like that. And then with a name like Riot, and the Krump where love them, so you know that's in
Yep.
itself.
Easy. Yeah, that's
And
it's gonna fall up easy.
and then 2 years later, your boy became Eat Movement, because I asked him, when we had talked on the phone, because we were working on some more music, and I asked him what he thought about me being a part of Eat Movement. And back then I wasn't really the group type of guy back then, because it was so much beefing going on. I'm like, forget
Yeah.
all that, because I'm cool with everybody for the most part. But when he made me feel one, he said, "Man, I've been waiting for you to ask me that for the longest." I said, "What? For real?"
It be like that, man. It be like that. That's I feel like that's how becoming parts of those groups and those families kind of how it used to be. You was around for a while, you actually built relationships, you got cool with the people, what I'm saying? Like whether it was a big homie or whether it was somebody in the group, what I'm saying? It wasn't like, hey, I'm gonna write you this message. Hey, I like your group. Can I be in it? Yeah. Come on. Like, nah, it was like you actually had to put in time. You know what I'm saying? Like you had to put in work to actually be up under people. And actually, like I remember like I was on the lane back in the day. That R.E.T the lane, he made
R.I.P. to
me
my brother.
man, he made me wait. You know what I'm saying? Like he made me wait. And I had never, it is crazy because like we were like a long distance, big homie, little homie thing. This was back in the forum time. So I was back in North Carolina. Of course, he's down in San Antonio and shit. So like this was based off the forum and shit. And I was boy Southern Monster, but he made me wait so long for that. But I feel like it gave more of a purpose. You know what I'm saying? It gave more of a
Hmm.
of a stamp actually, you know what I'm saying, when you actually got it. So like with we talked a little bit about the young heads. Do you feel like these days, actually I'll put it like this, because I think it's great that there's a lot of young producers and producers all around that are able to get their stuff out there much faster and much easier and be able to eat off of it, you know what I'm saying, a lot easier than it was 10 years ago, you know what I'm saying, or if you know what I'm saying,
Facts.
even 5 years ago for real. But do you think that it kind of comes with a little bit of a negative side because the instant gratification is expected so much?
I ain't gonna lie, that's kind of tough. From my experience, I know, because a person like me, I like embracing anything new or whatever, and
Mm,
learning what I learned over the years. It's room for everybody that want to do it. It's room for everybody as far as that go. And I be trying to bring that aspect to Crump, to let them know that all of this is performing arts, and anybody can make something out of themselves in it.
for sure.
It just,
And I
it just.
go, I'm sorry, go
Oh, my
ahead.
bad. I was just about to say, it comes with the mentality of those who really want it versus those who don't want it versus those who just greedy. because
Yeah.
that's another element that's in it too. Some folks are greedy.
Yeah, I mean, the too many people are greedy. You know what I'm saying? Like, way too many people are greedy, and it's unfortunate because I feel like a lot of the greed, especially within the culture, is based off of majority of us just ain't never had. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying, because it was just that's how it was for us and was for our people. So when we start to get a little bit of something, you know what I'm saying, it's like a shark takes some blood. You know what I'm saying? Like you do too much versus just taking off what you need. And
Now,
go ahead,
ooh,
please.
let me chime in on what you just said because you're right. I would say, as far as me coming up, I actually had people that helped me, that looked out for me, like elders, OGs, or whatever you want to call them. I had people that looked out for me or whatever, and I made it myself to like ask them for help. And
Got
that's
to.
why I can see it from both. That's why I can see it from both sides, from a person standpoint who ain't never had it, and a person that have had help.
Yeah.
That's why I be trying my best to be somebody that can help because I had it, and they
It,
always told me, "Oh my bad, I'm almost done with this one."
no. I'm
They,
sorry. I'm about. My bad. It's just yeah.
I like to talk,
Nah, you good.
but
You
yeah,
good.
everybody that ever helped me, whether it was music, Krump, or in life, they always told me what I need. The only thing I want is one thing from you: is to help somebody else. That's what they always told me.
That's real because that pay it forward aspect, you know what I'm saying? I'm that way too. If I do something for somebody, you know what I'm saying, you don't got to do something, you don't have to do something for me to do for you. But if I do something for you, like, oh man, what you want for that, man? Just pay it forward. Like there's not too many times that I've given somebody something that I needed it back. Like there's just not too many times, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes I've given people shit that I've needed, but I'm not looking for it back. You know what I'm saying? You feel me?
I
So it's
understand. Trust me.
yeah. There's that thin line, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like unfortunately, you know what I'm saying, you deal with that a lot in the culture, but then also you deal with and you have some of the most beautiful exchanges and some of the most beautiful situations that you really don't even realize, you know what I'm saying, could even have been there. So I kind of want to tap into that. Tell me about one of those really dope or really beautiful exchanges, whether it been over music or whether it been over crime, whether it been over, any other aspect of your life. Tell me about like this first beautiful exchange between humans that comes to your mind.
Shit, I could use me and you for example. Shoot, and every time back then when we was linked up, we always was just exchanging them. It ain't necessarily have to be not like no product or nothing, but we always exchange information or something,
Yeah.
like something we knew or whatnot. And then, we ain't never threw it in each other's faces. Always love at all times. Even to the day, even though I know we don't communicate as much as we used to, it's always love there. Like that, for instance.
Man, I like that. I appreciate that. I appreciate you saying that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's one thing that I think I was talking to somebody about. It might have been my wife, but I was talking about there's certain people that if you don't if you don't talk to them, like if y'all don't have any conversations, then like it's like well, I mean, let me say this right. If y'all don't talk all the time, then people think that like say like we fell off, like we ain't cool no more. You know what I'm saying? Like we ain't, but then there's other people, it's like I might not talk to them, you know what I'm saying, for months, sometimes you know what I'm saying, a couple years at a time, but when we talk, it's like we never drop the beat because it's like if you really know me, then it's like yeah, I'm just not that person. I'm not this person that's just gonna be sitting on the phone all the time. Like if I call you, I'll call you with a purpose. The only people that I call just the bullshit are my wife and my parents. And even then, I barely talk to my parents. So if I'm being honest, like only person I'm bullshitting with is my wife, you know what I'm saying? And that's just how it is. So I like that you said that, you know what I'm saying, because certain relationships, you know what I'm saying, they can just transcend what's going on with like social media and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Be like, I ain't heard from you. Be like, fuck you mean you ain't heard from me? You like all my statuses. What you mean you ain't heard from me? Like
Right. I'm glad you said that because I'm about to say, I'm about to say, long as I see you, you watching what I'm doing, that's all that matters.
you know what I'm saying? It's like I know you breathing, you know what I'm saying? It's like, come on now, but I do understand that there is a certain interpersonal conversation that, gets lost. over social media and shit like that, and especially back when we were dealing with COVID and the pandemic and everything. And I kind of want to tap into that just real quickly, real quickly, real quickly. How did you, what I'm saying, how did you maintain during that time frame, so during the pandemic, and how has your mental health been ever since? Because I guess, Biden said it the other day, I guess the pandemic's over. So we can go ahead and say the thing.
Yeah, I ain't gonna even tap into that. Y'all know how I get with politics. But anyway, as far as how as far as how I dealt with it, I mean, I still was treating everything every day like a regular day because I mean I know the BS behind it, and I know it was just another boogeyman scary tactic. I wasn't about to let that stop me from doing what I had to do. I guess some folks don't know. That's why I chose to just focus on what I got instead of focusing on everybody else at that point in time because you got a lot of scared folks out here and trying to reason with them, it ain't gonna help nothing. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna keep it moving until stuff get back right or whatever,
Yeah.
or start to speed back up to where we can come back outside or whatnot. But I was cooking up like a mud. I would say that I was
Hell
cooking up like
yeah.
a mud. Free money.
Shit.
They were giving out free money and stuff too. Yeah.
Man, listen, I said this shit so many times, and some people agree with me, some people don't. But I was like, if you didn't find some way to change during those 2 years, what I'm saying, if you didn't find some way to change, you wasted time. Like you wasted time and
I agree.
opportunity. And I get, and everybody went through different shit. Like everybody went through different shit during the pandemic. So I'm not trying to say that everybody was fortunate enough to necessarily have crazy or certain, saying certain type of changes. But I just feel like everybody at one point in time was sitting down right here. Everybody had to sit their ass down, well, right here and then right here. And they had to sit the fuck down and really kind of, saying, think about some shit. So it's like, if you ain't getting better, then what the fuck is you doing? So it just didn't really make sense to me. And it's funny because you just said something that you actually reminded me of, which I'm not gonna dive into, but your political stances, man, like what, and that's another thing that, like, I was just like, I appreciate this dude because he's genuine. He's honest, he's genuine, regardless if I agree with you or not, you're genuine and you're honest. So without even getting into the details of it, because I ain't about to, saying, have a whole bunch of clips and shit from this shit. I don't even want to. I don't want to even get at light on either side of it. I want to be bipartisan, right?
For
Um,
sure.
but staying kind of, in a broad sense, So what am I trying to say? What's my best way I'm trying to say it? How how important is it? Do you feel how important is it that everybody have their own personal identity when it comes to politics and when it comes to, saying, choosing or, vibing with which side you gonna vibe with? Like, how important is it that everybody have their own individual versus following the masses? Because that's one thing I can't stand, when people just follow the masses.
That's a good question because I ain't really the following type. I like to be on my own, man. And that's what I advise folks to do. Look at the policy. That's all I can really say. Look at the policy. Forget who this and who that. Look at what their policies is, what they talking about they want to do, like what they real policies are, and see and hold them accountable for it. If they doing what they say they gonna do, then rock with them. If they not, then don't rock with them. That's how I look at it.
What would be the best way, do you feel, that you could feel like you could get people to pay more attention to that shit? Because it's like, I'm the type that if a candidate puts out his platform, I might actually look at it, so I might actually be like, let me see what this motherfucker talk about. But that's a small percent of America, not just of America, of, say, people in our age demographic. I would just say between the ages of 25 and 40.
Yeah,
There ain't too many people, what I'm saying. I feel like that's still young. There ain't too many people that's actually gonna sit down and take the time to try to learn this person. They're gonna depend on TV, they're gonna depend on radio, they're gonna depend on commercial, saying, all this shit like that. So what do you have to say to those people? Um, like, what kind of encouragement do you have to them to actually, pick up a fucking book?
oh, that's a tough one because the attention span now that this technology out is short. Like honestly, the advice I would give, it might not be what they want to hear, but I would say, like I would tell anybody that's on the same thing I'm on as far as the Bible go, read it for yourself. Like go look into it yourself. Cut the TV off for one, and live life for one. If you don't want to be a part of politics, that's fine, but don't speak on it. Like if you ain't trying to get involved, don't speak on it. Like
Mm,
even not with politics, but with anything, if you ain't trying to get involved, then it's better to not speak on it and not give it any light. You know,
man,
like
that's a big one right there. Because I like that's the people. Way too many people talk about things that they either won, that have no goddamn what do you call it? Something in the fight, whatever you call it. No
no
dog in the
dog in
fight.
the fight. Yeah,
Yeah, you got no fucking dog in the fight, or two don't even know what the hell they're talking about, and just saying shit because they heard somebody else talk on it. So yeah, without going to that, without
hashtag
going down
Krump,
that rabbit hole, it's just like
aka Krump.
man, man, I done left that Crumpers page so many damn times, but it's just because it's like every time I see it, every little while, I'll be like, man, y'all tripping, they just get too crazy in there, but you know, but I feel like it's balance. You got to have the balance, So that's why I feel like the OGs got to step in. Whether you're a OG in the Krump sense of it, whether you're a OG in the fact that you just been around for a while, vets, whatever you want to call it, all these little states. If you've been there for a little while, then it's y'all's responsibility not to let these young niggas like ruin your shit.
I agree because I
I'm gonna
said
leave it
I
there.
said this. This what I said as far as that go. I say I've been saying this for years. I'm like, if Crump came from a gang aspect, gang culture, then why not treat it like it? As in tap in with the other state OGs and everything. You know how they were trying to say only the OGs came from the West Coast? No, that ain't how that works.
That don't make
Cause
sense.
you can't cause I'm an OG in Mississippi and I would never let no nigga from no other area tell me I'm not no OG here. Cause yeah, I'ma just
Exactly.
say and I think, but yeah, back to my point though, the OGs need to meet up like in every state or city or whatever. They need to meet up and like really come up with ideas and then bring it back to the new gen or whatever. That's what I've been saying for the longest.
I think that one thing that I don't see as much anymore. I mean, you see a lot of I was start about saying this. One thing that I don't see as much anymore is I feel like back in my time of Crump, I think I was considered like the very beginning of Generation Three. I want to say I was very beginning, just so I was like, I think I started crumping like '05, '06 time frame. So, and I might be like I said, I might be off with the generation sliding it, but anyways, so one thing I remember was that states and their identity and the people that they had identifying and repping those states, shout out to state versus state, the sanctuary. It was huge. It was important to all those states that had their own individual identities and for you to do those things within your states. Now, I've seen a lot more states pop up on the map that did not have a Crump scene, what I'm saying, 5, 6, 10, even 10 years ago. So I definitely will say that. But I don't know if it's as important anymore, especially for a lot of the OGs. Because I mean, a lot of the OGs, I'm a North Carolina OG, but I ain't lived in North Carolina in a long ass time. What I'm saying? I was one of the, one of the first to be doing it out there, what I'm saying, along the lights of Little Grand Finale what's his name? Facebreaker. He's on the Fud now, Chosen, Goblin has, what I'm saying, all these different OGs around my time, shout out to Native, now in that whole camp. But it's like I don't feel like the importance to really have that, what I'm saying, that unity is really there anymore, unfortunately. And then like I said, a lot of the OGs, what I'm saying, a lot of them move on and they start doing different shit. So it's kind of like if all the OGs in the gang go to jail, then there's a whole bunch of new niggas on the street. What's gonna happen? It's gonna be a whole bunch of new rules and shit. So I don't know, man. It's
I,
a tough
I
one.
I can say this. I will say this about the new gen. I love the new gen. First off, because re- honestly, the new gen actually listens. For
Word.
real. So it's not really hard for the OGs to say anything or make a point or nothing. It just are the OGs willing to talk to the new gen because the new gen want to be learn their history
Mhm.
and everything. And I'm using here for example, and I'm using Texas for an example. Even
Texas for
though I'm
sure.
not from Texas,
Texas for sure.
all they new gen people always asking folks questions. They ask us questions on this side of the South Side, you know. And our new gen ask questions too because they really want to learn. They don't really care about old beefs or nothing like that. They cool with learning about what happened, but they want to know what they can do to be better to carry on where we left off and everything. So
And that's how it's supposed to be, you know. So I feel like every time, you know, the couple years I was in Texas, that's one thing you would definitely see. OGs always definitely was putting on, you know, saying shout out to Pun, shout out to Disco, shout out to Savage, you know, saying shout out to Val, shout out to all, you know, saying all the OGs out there. And in Mississippi, of course, y'all will always bring y'all's clan over there and everything. Probably the clan was probably not the right word to say, but y'all bring y'all's crew over. y'all bring, it was just the fucking association. But anyway, y'all bring y'all's
yeah,
crew over there. You know what I'm saying? I see my boy Scream up there doing his thing, and the Biz up there doing their thing with the new gen up there in Virginia. You know what I'm saying? Casey, the Versatile's got a gang of little homies with the new gen. You know what I'm saying? I do see people definitely stepping up with the new gen for sure. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely not, you know, it's something that's happening, and I love the fact that it's happening. Um, so kind of segueing back into music, you know, you and I did, this is the perfect way to segue into. You talk about getting into different genres of music and different genres of producing. So you said you were tapping into rock a little bit. So like are you like you tapping, you jabbing in your, are you trying to do like a hip hop fusion, or you just like, nah, like I want to produce some shit? People be like, you produce that shit, like, you know.
yeah, that last one. Because I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. One of my bros, I don't know if you remember him. He used to be on the Vendetta, the OG Vendetta from Texas. Eli, I had made his wrestling theme, and it's a rock theme, whole rock theme, and everything
Word.
like that. Yeah, I'm just waiting on him to hurry up and sign so I can get some money out for it. That's
Hell
what
yeah,
I'm
man.
waiting on.
So how like what do you think what do you think is gonna be better? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you think that you would actually like make a segue over into doing different genres, or you would always pretty much have that root in hip hop?
I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I was already doing other genres, but rock was like the latest one. That's the latest one because I done tapped into gospel. I did, of course, electronic. Like,
Hmm.
if folks want to go watch my old lives and old cook-ups, you know, they can go to my Facebook or whatever because I got videos for days or whatever. I was
Hell
already
yeah.
tapping into it, but I had to learn to focus on one for at that point in time so I could like master it and then move into the next one. You know, because I ain't want to just be a jack of all trades, but then master
Yeah,
anything.
still
You know,
none. Yeah.
yeah. So I did that with the hip hop and the R&B. I mastered those two. Now, yeah, I'm trying to like go into other things because it's more opportunity for myself, and I want to advance myself so that way I can teach other folks. Because everybody that I get involved with, I want them to do more than just limit themselves. I want them to be like great at whatever. Like so that way, like with my kids, I made myself able to do some everything because I played sports. I was intelligent in school or whatever, all that stuff, you know, can cook and all that. I just wanted to be able to have something where my kids can't make any excuses. If they want
Mm.
to learn something, either I could teach them or I could get somebody I know in them areas to teach them, you know?
That's important, man. That's so important. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, you don't gotta, you know, I don't have any children myself, but I appreciate hearing you say that, you know what I'm saying, hearing a black father say that, because I feel like it's so important to make sure that you give them the opportunity, give them the avenues. They're gonna choose which way they want to go with it. But if you give them the opportunities, you give them the avenues, you know. So I feel like, you know, majority of us, especially in this community, we're not, well, none of us are just born innately any type of way. We're a product of our environments. We're a product of the opportunities that we get. And I feel like the best thing that we could do as black people is give each other our fucking opportunities. You know what I'm saying? Give each other the opportunity to really, you know what I'm saying, to do our thing. And that's, you know, essentially why, you know, so I do this podcast, you know. So I think this, you know what I'm saying, perfect way to kind of bring it all full circle. What would be some advice that you would give if you could get a message out to everybody in the world? That's how I asked the question. If you could get a message out to everybody in the world at one time, what would be that message?
Oh, stay focused. If you want to do something, apply yourself. Most importantly, study it before you get hands on with it. Study it. Then, when you get hands on, if you fail, keep going because you learn when you fail, and you only truly fail if you stop trying.
Simple, easy. Yeah, I like that. You only really fail when you stop. You know what I'm saying? Like people, say you get frustrated. People ain't listening to you. People ain't buying your music. People ain't listening to your music. People ain't watching your dance video. All this stuff like that. Keep on doing it because they watching you. They watching you. They might not interact with your shit, but they watching you. They definitely gonna notice when you stop. So don't give
Fact.
them that opportunity. Don't give them that. And actually, there was something I meant to actually ask you about right before we actually wrap it up because it was something I didn't know what it was. Tell me what's Three's company.
Oh yeah, Three's Company. That's my media company. It was started. Well, the name came from my bro Bryson Leonard on Facebook, but his Krump name is Blaze. He's underchosen. My other bro Wesley, he was my little homie, but he underchosen now. Like I was
Or
his first big homie in Krump or whatever. And how that actually got started. Originally, I wasn't even supposed to be Three's Company. It was somebody else, but it was bad business and everything. And they added me to it because, and to go back to what you was talking about the pandemic, I actually got better behind the camera and everything during the pandemic too.
yeah, man, you was doing your thing. Like I think the last event that I saw you at, you was the video camera person for it. That was it was outside of the event, but
Yeah,
it was a lot, but it
yeah,
was a while ago. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that was. But yeah, you was definitely doing your thing behind the camera for sure.
yeah. I think I did the Stomping Grounds last because
Stomping
I think
grounds.
it
I
was
think it
Ricky
was the
versus
stomping grounds. Oh no,
yeah,
it was Ricky versus Vets. It was
Ricky
Ricky
versus
versus
Vets. I
Vets
did that one too.
three, I think. Yeah, two
Yeah,
or
three,
three.
four, and five. 3, 4, and 5. I
Sheesh,
did all
man.
three of them.
That's crazy, man. But yeah, man, like I really do appreciate you coming on here, man. Like it's so I really I wanted to really tap in with there's a lot of people that I reach out to saying that I actually don't know, but I wanted to make sure that I tap in with my folk and make sure that I get saying my people on here because you actually doing your thing. I really respect you doing your thing, especially with what you're doing with the youth. While you're also trying to build your own portfolio, which is really important. And I want to make sure that, while you're still here, definitely let everybody know where they can find you, where they can listen to your music, where they can buy a beat, where they can get some advice, all that shit.
Oh yeah. First off, you can add me on Facebook at Randy Thomas. You're gonna have a picture of my business card. You can follow me on IG at RET on the beat. Also follow me on Instagram, Blog Nation, ENT, and Gorilla Boy Beats, because that's my Krump track making name, Gorilla Boy Beats. Um, you can follow, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, RET on the beat, and on TikTok as well, RET on the beat. Just really
Easy.
follow RET on the beat, and I'll just link y'all into everything else.
Hey, like that. You gotta have that brand consistency, man, for sure. I like that. I like that, man. But like I said, bro, I appreciate you coming on here, man. Like for real. It's much love.
I appreciate you for having me too.
Already, man. Already. We gonna stay tapped in, bro. Like, man, like I said, keep doing your thing, man, for real. And it's only up from here.
You too.
Already, man. Thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for tapping in. Country Fan Mail Podcast, where a fan makes a fan.